Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Today we're doing Queen of Shadows chapters 45 to 63. Last we left off, it wasn't clear to us if Arobyn's dead by Lysandra. What did you guys pick up on?
He's dead.
Brooke's doing her dance death party.
He died. He's certainly dead. It was great.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we did end off on it directly saying that she cut his throat, but we were still like, but did she? So that's our bad. Like, maybe we should be less suspicious, but he's dead. And then Aelin beheaded him just to double extra make sure, which we love.
Yeah, that was really cool. Pretty much that whole scene when she goes to the Assassin's Keep as Selena and just starts like blowing up.
It's amazing.
And I think it's also the first time that Rowan and Aiden gets to see that side of her for the first time, like the Selena assassin, the the King's champion, Ireland's assassin for the very first time.
Yeah,
What
I
did
think
you
that
guys
was one of the coolest parts was like their like terror, disgust, and like fascination with this woman that they both knew existed but had never really seen before because she is so different from who Aelin is. And like we've talked about how they're basically two different people inside of one person. But I loved that both of them came out of that. And like, because I mean, I think it's so cool, like how commanding she is, like just like so badass. But then they both come out of that being like, I'm sorry that Arobynn made you have to become that person. Like they realize that that's not who she is and she had to do that to survive. And I love that there was no like, oh, like, am I going to be like Chaol and be like, oh, you're kind of scary and I don't know if I want to be around you anymore. It was like, no, like, oh my God, amazing, but I'm sorry. It's like, oh,
Yeah, like they had no doubt whatsoever. Like true loyalty and faith with her. Like she's not a monster at all.
no.
Like this is the hand that she was dealt with. This is how she dealt with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like
Really
Lysandra. It's
love
like they
them
had one
more.
choice. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was awesome. I just I loved like how she was able to orchestrate even like the switching of the will for Arobynn. Like they when they did the will reading and it's like everything is left to Selena Sardothian. I was like, first of all, that's not a real person, but awesome. Um but yeah, I mean it was a really great idea for how to be able to get the funds to raise the army that she's going to need. And just like, I loved how she just fucked everyone over. It's like none of those people actually deserved to get anything. None of them, except for maybe Lysandra.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was awesome. And like being able to see a legitimately dead body that definitely was Arobynn felt so good. I was like, wow, I am definitely sure this person is dead. Like no thoughts whatsoever.
No question.
No questions. Super dead.
And double
Elena, what is
questioning.
that face?
Maybe said no question. I just
Are you questioning it now? Oh no. No, he's super
he's
dead.
super dead. I
Yeah.
agree.
Okay, good. Good. Yeah. And
Yes.
like how Lysandra overkilled him was just mwah. Chef's
Yeah, the
kiss.
way it was described, like, it wasn't just a slice of the neck.
The one thing that gets me about her being able to kill him is the whole part where then it comes out that he knew that she was working with Aelin. So the fact that he let his guard down around her, knowing that, I mean, I guess it's you're supposed to read it as he just really bought into her as this helpless courtesan who couldn't do anything on her own, and even if she was feeding Aelin information, she wasn't a threat to him. But like the way it came out that he when he told the king that Lysandra was a shapeshifter. Did we know Lysandra was a shapeshifter before this, or is this new?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, when Rowan sniffed her out.
Literally.
I wanted to make sure that had been established. So when he told the king that she was a shapeshifter, and Aelin was like, "Oh crap, he knew we were working together." Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I chalk it up to him being so
Hmm.
cocky in the whole situation, because if we remember like what would have been going through Arabynn's mind at the time, it was that he had put the ring on Aelin, making her entirely like
Hmm.
beholden to him. So I think he has sort of crossed her off as a potential threat. And then I think like he's just super sexist and awful. So I can totally see how he would never think that Lysandra would have the balls to do that to him, but she did. And I think that's what
Mhm.
makes it even more beautiful, is that he thought so little of her to sleep next to her with a knife under his pillow, and think that she would never be able to do it. She did.
Big dumb idiot.
Big dumb idiot. This is the book of big dumb idiots.
Great summary.
Unfortunately, only one of them's died so far.
So who's the other big dumb idiot you guys want to talk about?
Oh, there are no other big dumb idiots I want to talk about, Jamie. Do we have to
Her
talk
other
about my
big
last round draft pick?
Sure, why not?
Oh, Chaol. I don't know, Elena. I feel like you don't hate Chaol as much as I do. Is there anything that you want to say about Chaol?
I don't think I hate Kale as much as you do, but I did, I think, up until this most recent bit, just because he was being extra dumb and awful. And I think in this section that we just read, he's like very clearly coming around to the idea of like magic being the solution to bringing down the king, stopping the Valg. He's like, we need an army. Like, who's gonna help us? And he was like, oh, what about all those magic wielders that the king's just actively been murdering? They seem
Yeah.
like great allies. Um, between doing that, realizing that Aelin was right that Dorian should die, like also even before he like acknowledged that Dorian should die, like I think there was a really cute scene where he and Aelin like he agreed to get Lysandra to safety no matter what because he had let her down with Nehemia. And then she agreed that Chaol was in charge of what happened to Dorian. Like he got to make that choice. And I thought that was a really good scene of the two of them finally like seeing where their differences lie and making a compromise.
Yeah. And like I think also the scene after like everything goes to shit and everyone almost dies and they're like recovering at the inn afterward, and Chaol and Aelin have that moment where he apologizes for basically causing everything that happened because he thought he was going to go kill Dorian and then ended up getting them caught by the 13. Um but it was nice that like Chaol and Aelin came to the conclusion that it was like, okay, we do need to take down Dorian. It's in his best interest, and we'll do it together. But she was like, I'm gonna let you do it because you owe that to him.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a big summary of like I don't hate him anymore. I think he's done a lot of the growing that he's needed to, and if he continues on that path, I think he'll do good.
So you think he still has some more like growth to go through and development?
Yeah. Because like just because he's begrudgingly accepting of magic doesn't mean he's like accepting of magic. And
Yeah.
like I think he came around because he acknowledges how he failed Aelin in the past. So I think a lot of it's from a place of guilt as opposed to like actually believing in certain changes. But I think he'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think too, it's a lot of like, well, the king has amassed this hugely terrifying army and force of people. So now we are going to have to use magic in order to stand a chance. It's not like I like magic people. It's just like, well, I guess I'm going to have to choose the lesser of two evils, which is unfortunate. But he is definitely making progress. I definitely hate him less. It is so ironic that he and Aelin basically like shake hands on the whole let's be a team to kill Dorian, when it's like, guys, we don't have to kill Dorian anymore. Like, now we know we don't have to. But they're like, yeah,
They
we're
don't
gonna
know
do
we
this.
don't have to.
I know, but we
They
need to
don't.
call up our new friend Manon and be like, hey, what'd you and Dorian talk about? And then have her share some insight.
I think it's a good sign though that Chaol is willing to work with Aelin and team up together. I think that's a big, like where he came from the start of this book is such huge difference.
Huge
I
difference.
I think the other big place Cal has to grow is he's still doing this out of loyalty to Dorian. Like everything he's doing is Dorian deserves to be king. Like if he can't be king, then at least I should put him out of his misery. He still hasn't come around to like I think there's a very clear scene in the where Nazarene is like my queen. Versus Kale has not had that moment with Aelin where he's been like, yes, Aelin is a queen she deserves.
Yeah. Or even just like doing things because he feels they're right. Like he never really has that like inner monologue going. He really is just entirely driven by like, how do I do the best thing for Dorian? And it's like, dude, I love that you love Dorian so much, but also like have an individual thought with, you know, some real like emotion behind it.
Do you think he's still like, you know, obviously he cares a lot about Dorian, but there was also a part of him that cares about Rifthold too. Do you think that's still there?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
think he
god.
wants.
Is Kale gonna become the king of freaking
Oh, I hope not.
I
out? Doesn't it seems like a possibility if like we're gonna give up on Dorian as a person.
No, Dorian's not dying. Oh
I
no,
was
so I'm not worried about that anymore. Dorian's super living now. I've seen the path. He is
so
alive. It's just I'm not sure if he's gonna be king of Aderlon or if he's gonna go be king of the Witch Wastes.
so before we get to that, I just want to say that I always found it very frustrating that Chaol like had such loyalty to like Aderland and Rifthold and all of that because it's just like it's just a city like you're
Right.
not even you were kind of grew up here as like the captain of the guard and everything but like your home was still Annanelle. I mean you can pretty much go anywhere, you don't have to stay there. And Dorian, like you could follow Dorian, you could be loyal to Dorian, you don't have to be loyal to the king and Aderland and all that. But yeah, I just want
I can't move on past this thought that Kale becomes king.
do you
Like
think he'll
Dorian
be
is even if he doesn't die, he's not going to be in a position where he's like, I'm ready to become king. His brother's clearly not a good king figure, so then like who does that leave that's been like clearly advocating for the people of Rifthold the past book and a half?
Ew.
what do you
I
guys
don't.
think?
You know that's right. You see the logic.
I do, and I don't like it. Gross. He would have to do a lot of growing for me to like at the end of his coronation be like, oh, this was so deserved, I'm so happy. But maybe I'll get there and that would be great. That would be some great writing.
Let me write this down as a
Yeah, you can write that down as an official maybe theory, Jamie. Just
in the
because
series.
We can
but
cut
then
this
you're right.
soundbite and put it next to me being like, oh my god, Chaol, how amazing, he's come so far.
All right, let's go back to because we were talking about Dorian. Um, what did you guys think about him meeting Manon for the first time? What was going
I'm
through your
already sold. Already sold. All my chips are in. End game. They're beautiful. I want it.
Yeah,
Do you
I
want
don't
it more
disagree.
than Manon and Chaol that some of you have theorized about this couple?
I think,
100%.
yeah, no, I was going to say, Elena, I think you were more Manon Chaol.
I just thought it would be funny if Manon and Kale were together because Manon is so vanilla. Like Manon, not Manon. Oh my god, you guys know who. Kale is so vanilla. He's literally so boring. And then it would have been so funny, like just seeing the dynamics of Manon, like just that relationship would have just been a lot. But I think Dorian and Manon makes more sense and is equally hilarious. Where he was like, "I'll do whatever. My blood will be whatever color you want my blood to be." Just
There's the Doran that we miss and love.
Oh man, it's like I know that all of the like sexual innuendos that he was spewing were to try to rile her into killing him, but at the same time, it was so nice to hear. I was like, "Oh, Dorian, I miss you so much."
think they were trying to get her to kill. Like, I think they were a little bit to try and get her to kill them, but like only the tiniest bit. I feel like everyone else, like that we've seen come out of like a Valg. Oh my god, I can't think of the word.
Yeah, them like taking
Valg
over their
possession of
psyche.
Valg possession. It's like immediately like kill me, just kill me directly. Like there's no subtlety to them trying to die. They're just straight out like put a knife through my back or something. But meanwhile, Dorian's like, damn, you're hot. So I
Hey girl.
like a little bit because he wants to die, but more because he wants to flirt. And I love that for him.
Yeah. No,
I mean, I
it
had
was
the same thought too. Like, I didn't think he was trying to like goad her into killing him or anything. I think he was just like really infatuated with her, and he finally has control um of himself, and clearly sensing that the Valg Prince is actually scared of her. And so I think he was trying to take advantage of that and try to get more, I don't know, find more ways to talk to her. And then when I saw that when I read that for the first time, I was like, "Oh, I like this between them. I want to see where this goes. Like, I want to know more. I ship this. I ship this."
Yeah, just two people who could have anyone they wanted and have had many people that they've wanted, and then to just like find each other and be like, wait a minute, I have found my equal. And I'm like, oh my God, I could watch all the scenes between the two of you. But
Love it.
I mean, I just loved how, and I think we're understanding that it is something about like Manon's eyes are the same like pure gold of the Valg princes, and that is why, or the Valg kings.
Valg
Is it the
King.
The
kings?
Valg King, yeah.
So that's why the princes are afraid of her, because she
Mhm.
signifies that Valg king. But it was just so beautiful when she steps up to him and all of a sudden he's in control again. Like she makes him him again, and like she's the key to saving him, and like she realizes that in a way. Like she knows that there's something that is bringing him back out of that possession when she's around, because she even says to the king, like, you should send him to Morath. Like, I think it would be more up his alley. Like, he would be with people like him. But it's because she knows that if she's around him, she could find some way to get him out.
I was gonna say, like, come tomorrow because I'll be there.
I got a room. You got a body. Let's do this.
Got some
Yeah.
chains.
Oh yeah. Got a dragon.
The other thing I really liked about that scene is like if they are endgame, which I agree, Brooke. It seems like it would be so cute. It seems like it's on that path. I do appreciate Manon's POV where she's just like, it's the prince, who cares, and like just immediately like distant. Like it's not like she looked at him and was like, damn, he's so hot. Like it's gonna take growth from her. Like the fact it wasn't immediate and that it's going to be a little bit more complex, I really appreciate.
Yeah.
As
I
like
think
a
there
real
was
story.
I think there was like a little bit of growth though, because I think she really wasn't expecting him to like be as flirty and like, you know, confident and like in her face as he was. And I think that kind of, she was like, oh, wow. Like,
Right? To a witch, like, you know,
right.
scary. Like, she's come across humans before and not something new. Like, they've always been scared of her. This is
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not scared. He's not deferential. He's somehow fighting through this Valg possession to like have a
Yeah.
real conversation with her.
I don't know if it would be any different had he not been controlled by the Val Prince. Like, would he be acting this way if he didn't think that he had anything to lose, you know?
I don't think so. I think a lot of it's just that he's like, if I die, like again, to go back to what we were talking about before, I don't think he's actively trying to die, but I don't think he'd be upset if he died. So he's like, if I die, I die. Let's just see where it goes.
Let me get one more shot in.
Well, because when he goes back under the possession, he's stronger in there, and he sort of realizes, he remembers Manon saying, like, come find me, Prince. But in that moment, he thinks of it as like a promise to kill him, to take him out of his misery. But then then he keeps thinking of her name. He's like, Manon. And I was like, yeah, that's hope, buddy. Like, hang on to that. We're going to get you out. Elena, he's getting out! All my chips are in. Their endgame. He's gonna live. It's gonna be great and beautiful.
In all seriousness, I agree with you. Like, if he doesn't get out, I will be devastated.
So devastated. Jamie, stop looking at us like that.
All right, should we move on to the are there any other big idiots that we came across?
I mean, Rowan's a big idiot, but I think he did less big idiot stuff in this section.
Yeah, they've done a lot better. They've done a lot better.
The last section, remember, he was like, "Don't touch me."
We've had conversations since then. We've grown. There's an understanding now.
Oh, I'm changed.
I'm glad that the understanding didn't take long. I appreciate that, like, he came to her and just said, we need to talk about this. And they did. And it was beautiful and like sexy. Yeah, like adults. It was great. I was pleased. So I was like, thank you, centuries old Fae man, for having some sort of like relationship knowledge. But yeah, I mean, they're definitely good now. I mean, like, I feel like they are totally solid. They've admitted as much as they're going to admit that they love each other and that they want to be together. Not just getting there.
Yeah. Aelin just needs to stop third wheeling them. Like, he needs to give them some space.
Every time.
2 doors over.
I think
every time they're like, these walls are thin.
I think he needs a love interest. Do you have anyone in mind yet?
He's got 2.
He has 2.
Yeah. I just got to figure out who's better for him, Nesrin or Lysandra. I don't know.
Do they have any more cute moments in this book or in this section?
Not really. I was getting like some Aelin Lysandra vibes when they rescued Lysandra. He was definitely like taking care of her, and I actually got some Nesrin Chaol vibes, which I'm not really in love with. But this was the first time where Nesrin got like kind of concerned about Chaol being in danger, and I was like, "Girl, are you catching feelings? Are you? Do we have to?
Not.
Can we not?"
Maybe they're just platonic, friend feeling.
It could
like
be
how we felt before with other couples.
Yeah, other couples that will remain nameless. Yeah.
All right, so good. So Rowan and Aelin, they're making their relationship, whatever relationship it is.
Yeah, there are a lot of promises of teeth being used in artistic ways that I'm excited about.
Artistic or animalistic ways?
Both. Both, Jamie.
What else? Have we talked about what do you think will happen with Caltine? Like, her story seems to be a lot more developing a little bit. We see a lot more of her in this section, I think. What do you guys think is gonna happen?
I think last time we actually had like a pretty detailed debate where we were like, but why is Caltine different? She seems different. She seems Valg Princey, but not Valg Princey. Are we sure it's a Valg Prince? And I feel like that was kind of answered, which was nice. Like, maybe we just shouldn't ask questions and assume that they're going to be immediately answered like 3 chapters later and we're going to look super dumb. If I mean me mostly. I think I was.
Those are good questions because you're aware and you're aware of it.
I feel like that's the subtitle of this bookcast, though, is like the place where we ask questions and then immediately get answers and find out we're wrong in the next episode.
Yep.
With the exception of Sam, we're still waiting to find out if we're wrong.
He's still just on his way from the Red Wastes, or not, no, the Red Desert. He's on his way. It's just slow.
Super slow. Weirdly slow, but like coming.
Yeah, it's fine. He was far.
He's gonna be on a mysterious Asterin horse.
Yeah.
Gonna get it somehow.
I have to say, I'm slightly ashamed, but in Caltain's scene, I was cheering so hard. And then had a moment where I was like, Brooke, do you remember how much we hated this bitch from the first book? And I was like, yeah, Brooke, we do remember how much we hated this bitch, but look at how badass he is.
Remember when you hated Lysandra in the first book?
Yes, I do. I remember when I hated all of them, and now I feel differently.
I know.
Yeah. Remember when you didn't hate Chaol?
There was a time where I didn't hate Chaol.
Remember when you wanted Aelin and Chaol to end up together?
There was a time. There was a time where I thought that they were endgame. I trusted Selena. I trusted her. Yeah, Caltain's awesome. I'm really proud of her and how she was able to outsmart the Valg Prince inside of her and like take over. And it's a good thing because they've got a lot of plans for her scary Shadowfire taking over the world. So I'm really hopeful that she's fully in control of that and will like not use it at a key moment to turn the tide.
Yeah. I feel like it's hard to tell though, because I think she's kind of like in a world of gray where she's okay with anyone dying. Like she doesn't have motivation to not kill any. Like it's not like she sees a sense of right or wrong. Like I think Manon is coming around too. I think it's just she doesn't care who dies. It's how I interpreted a lot of her thought process.
Yeah, well, and one of the things that I'm hoping that meeting Dorian has taught Manon is that Caltaine may also be reachable too. So I'm hoping that Manon is going to go back to Morith and like figure out how to unlock Caltaine entirely. Because I think the problem is that Caltaine has forgotten a lot of her former self. Like she doesn't remember what her name is, just like Dorian. So I think that's why she doesn't have a good moral compass, because that's been lost in the process. And if we can get that back and get her on our side, that would be great.
Well, like they still keep making weird allusions to something being in her arms. And I don't know if I'm supposed to know what it is, but I very much don't.
I don't either. And I think we're not supposed to know, but it seems like it's something that turns her magic, like her innate magic, into the Shadowfire.
Yeah. Like it seems to give off like dark vibes, so maybe if that's removed, she would be more herself and less, hello, I am a death god, I will kill everyone.
All right, well, good not spell Caltaine.
Yeah.
Where do you guys think where it's headed with Elise? I think last we saw her, she got caught by Vernon.
Yeah. I'm so worried for our girl.
We don't like him.
Did he just throw her in a dungeon? Is that where we leave her?
That is where she is right now. Because it's while Manon is gone dealing with the whole king thing, that she gets taken. And then, like, right after she gets back is when Asterin is like, I'm gonna need to drop these truth bombs. Let's go. And we just haven't gotten any further than that. So I think they haven't really realized that a lead has been taken yet.
I feel like Manon is gonna do a lot back in Laura now, between helping Caltaine and helping a lead, and because she has a plan, right? So there's no way those people don't somehow play out in her plan.
Yeah, we've finally reached the point of this book and the series that I think we've all been waiting for since we met Manon. And it's like, girl, like, toss off your grandmother. Like, you are being used. Become your own person. Choose your own destiny. Like, she and Asterin have finally been like, okay, what's the plan? Like, we're there. So it's like, okay, let's do this. Let's get rid of all the bad people. Let's make some change.
Yeah. When I was typing notes for this episode, it kept autocorrecting Grandma Blackbeak to Grandma Blackbean, and that's who she is now. So
Grandma Black
I
Beauty.
mean,
Grandma
doesn't
Black.
deserve that.
I have to say, when I type her name in notes, usually I just put GBB, so it doesn't know what to autocorrect that to.
Weird that you're talking about the Great British Bake Off in your notes, bro.
Great British Bake Off is super evil and is okay with witchlings being turned into demonic creatures.
No soggy bottoms.
No soggy bottoms, just black, demonic, evil, scaly bottoms? I don't know.
I'll move too fast.
Either way, we do think that, Caltine and the lead are going to be part of a bigger plan, and their involvement will also help Manon grow to be
Can
a
we
better.
please talk about Manon and Aelin's clear best friendship that's gonna happen?
I cried.
Aww. Their battles or fight scene was so good. I remember it was being so good.
I think I
Yeah.
had so much pent up emotion, like in that scene. Like Rowan was hurt, and like just I love the 13, and I love Aelin's court, and the fact that they're just like fighting each other. I was like, this isn't how it was supposed to happen, and I was just like emotional. And then obviously, like, I mean, in my mind, I'm on Aelin's side, right? Is like, I need Aelin to get out of this alive so she can go do her thing, but I didn't want Manon to die. What?
You'd be on Aelin's side. I was on Manon's side. Hear
No!
me out. Like, if we're picking sides in this fight, which it seems like we are,
Oh my god.
Manon was gonna let them go. Aelin started an unnecessary fight for no reason. Manon was prepared to just leave them, and Aelin was like, I don't. Aelin was us, and was just like, I don't trust that.
That is true.
I do hear you on that, Elena. I do. But I think in the chapter, Aelin admits, she says, like, I couldn't like bank on her letting us go. But Manon also, there's like a line or two where she was saying that like she probably would have killed them anyway. So I don't know if we can like put all of our chips in just for the fact that Aelin was like, hey, I killed Baba Yellowlegs and then froze ya. Also, like in terms of reasons to kill people, like was that really the thing when Manon's like, I just have to kill her because honor and such?
A non-reason for killing someone that's
Such of a
ever.
non-reason.
But it
Yeah.
worked out in the end. They both
It
did.
did. It did. I had
If
this
anything,
split
it showcased
second.
their fight skills and showed that they had a great time fighting each other.
Yeah, in that fight, I was like, oh my god, you guys are going to be best friends. Like, I love that Aelin has Lysandra, but at the same time, I'm just like, Aelin and Manon are like very similar. Like, they are the same person
Yeah.
with just like slightly different backgrounds. And I
Uh-huh.
loved when Aelin's like, swords are boring, and Manon's like, yeah, they are.
I
Like,
knew
oh my god.
when Manon was first introduced and we were getting to know her, I was like, I can't wait for Aelin and Manon to meet each other because they would be so badass together.
I've been waiting for it forever too, and then they started fighting each other, and I was like, wait,
I
no,
think
mom and mom.
this is the perfect way for them to meet. Just no talking, just straight up fighting. Like
You're totally right. I think I just have like the starry eyed, like they're gonna meet each other and there's gonna be a moment where they're like, whose side are you on? Whose side are you on? Are we on the same side? Sounds great. Let's take down the king.
they can't all be like Dorian and start just flirting.
No, no.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I had like a single moment where I was really glad that Aelin was escaping and wasn't going to die. And then when it was obvious that Manon was like about to die, I was like, you have to go back and help her. And then when she did, I was like, oh my god, you did it! You helped her.
Also, big shout out to the like one offhanded comment about like that's in this chapter where she's like, I felt a tug of fate or something, like a tug towards this person, and I've only felt this one other time, and it was with a healer in some like no name town. And it's like, oh, so Irene is coming back. Cool, cool, cool. Good to know.
Yeah.
Interesting choice of words too.
What is this weird fate thing that's like pulling people together? Like, is this just like a plot device, or is it Elena or a god? Like, I feel like gods are coming in a lot, and we don't know that much about them outside of Elena.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't know.
Elena's not a god, so.
Past queen, dead thing.
Yeah, because there was also that whole scene where they're in that old god temple, that the god that's been forgotten, the god of truth that like was worshipped by people that did terrible things, and we're just gonna pretend that temple like is never gonna come back.
No, it was just for one scene, Elena. It's certainly not coming back.
Taking theories.
Sorry, update. We don't need to go there right now. We can keep talking about how great Manon and Aelin are. Because I don't think they're done there either. But
well, we know for a fact that this isn't the last time they see each other. But this was, I think, like a really good meeting.
Yeah, and I don't know what the tug is, Elena, to answer your question about that. But I mean, it seems like if it is just what is the name of the healer that we met in Assassin's Blade? I forget.
Irene,
that's what it is. If she's only felt it for Irene and Manon, my guess is it is some sort of tug to like people that will hopefully be part of her court, is my guess. Like it's some sort of like innate like queen thing that hopefully is like bringing her to people that are going to join her, but I don't know.
Interesting.
I feel like
Manon would be the type to like follow someone. She doesn't even want to follow the king. Like, so I can see her going off doing her own thing, which is what she wants to do anyway. She wants to go back to the waste. It'll be interesting to see her meet up with what's her face, the one that betrayed Selena.
What are the odds we all go to the waste? Like if Manon's going to the waste and whatever her name is in the waste, then we know she has to come back at some point.
Yeah.
Like, are we just
everything happens in the waste? Yeah, I don't know. There are a lot of players that all need to come together. But I'm so glad that Manon and Aelin have finally met. It's been a long time coming.
Mm-hmm. The scene does ultimately end with like they're gonna be friends.
Oh yeah, yeah. Manon like protects her from the king.
I thought it was really sweet that the whole reason that Aelin decided to save her life was because of the way Asterin screamed Manon's name, and it just reminded her how Rowan said Aelin's name, and it just shows like, oh, that's someone who actually cares for, like, someone cares for someone, and that person is for Manon. And then we finally learned some more backstory about Asterin, which was like the last chapter in this section, right? What did you guys think about?
I hated it.
Oh, because it made you have feelings.
Yeah.
I felt things.
Like I feel like we don't know much about any of the 13's backstories.
Yeah.
So, but then to find out that Manon also doesn't 13's backstories, like people she's so close with, that like Asterin could have like an entire year of her life where Manon just was off doing her own thing enough to not realize that she had a witchling, that she had a love interest, that her grandma was the absolute worst black being on the planet. I don't know. It was just really sad, but I'm glad that learning it is what she needed to push her over the edge of realizing that her
Yeah, absolutely. And why like Asterin was so against the whole experiment and sacrificing a coven. And like the rarity and how sacred it is to even have a witchling. So it meant really a lot to her. And I think like having that known about Asterin to Manon like just brings the 13 closer too. I definitely cried when I read that. It was hard.
Super sad. I've liked Asterin like this whole time. Obviously she was the voice of reason, and it was clear that like a lot of them felt like Manon needed to break away from her grandmother. But I appreciate that a lot of the reason why Asterin like didn't tell her this and why the 13 haven't really pushed her was partly to protect her, but I think also partly to like let Manon make her own choices. But then Asterin was like, okay, I gotta tell you this, and like, you need to know. And I'm glad that it took no time, like, not even a second, for Manon to be like, okay, what are we doing? What's the plan? Like, that was the last straw after learning that her grandmother was not upset with anything that the king's been doing to the witches and his whole plan, which I think was like
Mhm.
her final holdout, kind of. But then knowing that and then hearing that her grandmother really has like just gone off the deep end, it's like, okay, I can't be a part of this anymore.
I
Wake up
also think
call.
it's really. Oh, sorry, Jamie.
Oh, I'm just saying wake up call.
Big wake up call. Oh, I was just gonna say I also kind of liked that the squad saw Manon getting berated and abused by her grandma, so that I feel like that also kind of humanizes her more, like for when they do team up. So not only does Manon realize how terrible her grandma is, everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We do not like Grandma Blackbean.
A GBB. Yeah, I can't wait until she dies. It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Any other thoughts about this section? I didn't have anything else. Any of you guys?
Wait, I don't think
What?
so.
Like
Other.
Lysandra was saved, right? The
Hmm.
lead is semi-captured, imprisoned.
Yeah, I mean, I think like next
Oh, the
step is
king thing.
What was that?
The king thing. The fact we find out the king's in Morath, which is definitely where this is
Oh, the
going.
Valg Kings. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Let's
Yeah.
cool.
that was the whole like creepy crypt scene. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew there was a reason I wanted to circle back to the crypt scene at some point. And it's just that apparently there are Valg Kings, which are going to be worse than. And they're just
Or there's at least like
coincidentally in Morath.
yeah, there's at least like one Valg King that seems like he might have been resurrected or might be in the process of being resurrected in Morath.
Yeah, because the king of Arab. Oh my god. Not the king of Arobynn. The king of
I'm
Adelon.
like,
It's just
Adderley?
like, no, it seems like a great idea. Bringing back.
Isn't it
Yeah,
scary though? Like, not just one king, but there's kings. Like,
yeah, there's
Valg.
potentially more.
Ugh.
I think there are. 'Cause when the Valg prince is talking about Manon's eyes, I think he like says they're the eyes of the kings, plural,
Yeah.
but maybe
Yeah.
not.
No, there definitely were multiple in the past. And then I
Mhm.
think what they were saying is Erewhon, like, is the one king that they think that they might have been able to find and is in Moreth, and they might have already resurrected or might be in the process of resurrecting. And it's like, yeah, I think we're definitely getting to the point where I'm wondering if the King of Adarlan is actually in control of everything that's going on. It's like, dude, do you realize that you're waking up something that is probably just going to kill you and take over the world?
Yeah, like what is Endgame at this point? Like, why are we
Right.
having Anne trying to resurrect seemingly immortal, ever powerful demon king and creating magic for like amplifying weapon? Like, what else do you have to take over? Like, what is left?
What's the
Yeah.
end game?
He's out of control.
Is it still Dorian that's gonna end him?
End who?
The king.
I hope so. It would be really cool if somehow Dorian could get a fake collar, or his collar could be made like not working, and he could trick the king into still being under his control, and then
What? What was that?
that was my
That is-
stabby noise.
I know we still have
Like, are
like
you throwing cobwebs or something? Or
Yeah, Spider-Man. No, stab.
Dab dab.
Dorian is Spider-Man.
Twist. Marvel takes over the universe.
I know we still have like 100 pages left of this book and like 3 more books, but it just seems like there's a lot to wrap up in 3 books. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta kill a big old, like, mirror super weapon.
And
And
the
a
tower
Valg King.
still.
And the towers. We have a lot of Hellfire. Is it Hellfire?
Mhm.
So I think that's next up is, like, Aelin's gotta try to take down the towers. But I don't know. I need people to get magic back, because the fact that, like, Rowan almost died from 1 arrow, I was like, are you serious? This guy?
This can't be the way.
No. Although I was very
We
nervous.
forgot the best part. We forgot the best part.
Fleetfoot?
Back.
She was only in 1 chapter, but it was great.
The highlight of the read.
We got a little reunion, and it was really
Yeah.
And I think we got another Abraxas and Wildflower scene.
Oh, I love those scenes.
Yeah, it was when Asterin and Manon flew their wyverns out so that Asterin could tell her about everything that was going on, and they landed in a whole field of wildflowers, and Abraxas was like, "Yeah, buddy!" Like, oh man, he's so cute.
Really so cute.
Yeah.
Okay, those are my only last minute thoughts. Sorry for derailing.
No, Fleetfoot is super important. Fleetfoot and the book are the 2 things that I keep, like, trying to keep track of where they're at, and I don't know where the book is right now, and I need Chaol to come clean.
Is that the
Why
Book of
Fleetfoot?
Dead? Or the
It's
Walking Dead? I think that's
called The
what it's
Walking Dead. Yeah.
Why are you trying to keep track of where Fleetfoot is?
I just think she might be important at some point. There was, like, 1 line in this book about how a lot of shifters might be still here and trapped in their animal form, and I don't think that it's
you
Fleetfoot.
think?
Well, because Fleetfoot was born during
Yeah.
this time, so, like, I think
Uh-huh.
she's definitely a dog, but it made me think, like, what animals are around that might be people? And I was like, are those really cool horses actually Fae?
I actually had that theory for the stag that Selena and
Mm.
Aelin see,
Yes.
but
What do you mean you had it? Like, is that not so? Like, that's a really great point, Jamie.
no, I still have that theory. I'm just saying that, like, yeah, no, I still have that theory. I still have that
Yeah.
theory.
Yeah. I just had that thought where I was like, I don't know. What if Fleetfoot's mom is like a fae? I don't know if that's, like,
How does
physically
that
possible,
work?
but I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, wasn't her
Could
mom one of the hounds in Dorian's?
Yep.
I don't think the timelines work out for her to be able to have children,
Probably
because
not.
then she would be a 10-year-old puppy.
But it just made me think of it, and I need to just keep an eye on where Fleetfoot is in general, because I love her.
Good. Someone should.
Yeah.
I'm really glad we got to see her though, because when I think what was the last time we saw her was like Crown and Midnight, and I mean Selena had to leave to go on a
I think
boat.
it was at the end of Era of Fire, because Chaol, like, runs back to Selena's bedroom and, like, takes Fleetfoot and the books and, like,
Yeah.
runs.
So I'm just like, what happened to the dog? What happened to the dog?
Yeah, I think it says at the beginning of this book, Chaol says that he like gave her to Nezrin to like go live out on a farm.
Which
But
I
it was
think is
nice to
even
see her.
better because the farm is so open and she could be happy and running around.
Yeah. I
I
don't know
was
if she's
convinced. Oh, sorry.
I don't
I
know.
was just gonna say I was convinced for a solid like 10 pages that the healer they were gonna go to, and then it was just some random midwife.
Yeah. It wasn't Irene.
That's a good
Irene's on
guess,
her way
though.
too.
Yeah, that's still a good guess. I wonder how, and I hope they meet Fleetfoot and Abraxas. I hope they meet because I think they would be really cute together, like furry friends or furry winged friends.
Just sniff flowers together.
Yeah, just hop around, running in the fields.
Can you even picture like little Fleetfoot with a praxis?
Yeah,
Best friends.
Don't
best
step
friends
on
with
her.
your best friends.
Mm, so cute.
All right, guys. Any other thoughts before we end the episode?
I'm so excited to finish this book.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Everyone
literally
for
gonna.
joining us. The last section to read is chapter 64 through 89, which is the end.
I'm gonna go get the next book right now.
Yeah,
Get
I
it.
will be reading it all tonight, Jamie. Watch out for my texts that I won't be able to send in the group chat yet.
Oh my goodness. I'll do my best. I'll try.
No.
Try to keep up. Everybody keep up with us.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. See you next
Bye,
time.
everyone.
Bye.